The Indian Mars mission is a mixture of many things. It's first and foremost a demonstration to the world that India has the technology and the capability to go and reach all the way to Mars. When it goes there, it does some science, and it is doing some very crafty science, which is looking for signatures of life on Mars. But very largely and boldly written on this mission is national pride. The mission was announced by the Prime Minister. It carries a lot of national pride on it. And if India can do all of this, and in the bargain, if it can also beat China in reaching Mars, you can imagine what would be the mood of India. Because China and India are regional rivals. And in every aspect of spacefaring, China has always been way ahead of India. It's only in the Mars race where India has a sneaking opportunity to beat China to reach the Martian orbit. So why not? India is giving its very best to reach the Martian orbit, but it's a tricky and tough journey. India has never walked this road before. If it reaches there, it would be an outstanding achievement. But if it doesn't, well, then failures are stepping stones to success.
Absolutely. Also, I'm not going to question you about, the people questioning spending this money on a spaceship when you could be spending it on teachers and whatever. Because, I mean, if you spend $72 million on this mission, it's a drop in the ocean of what India really needs. But the outpouring of national pride should make a difference in terms of perhaps engendering more economic activity, I suppose, as well.
Definitely. See, the space program in India is very heavily supported by the Indian industry. So the Indian industry gets a real boost when the Indian space program does well. And more globally, players will look at India as a very serious partner and a serious player when they look to launch satellites and use rockets. So if India's Mars mission does well, then it could well open a window for a lot of global space commerce to be coming to India. India's spaceport, where I am, is one of the best located rocket launch sites after the French in Kourou. So it's a wonderful site from where you can launch many satellites, heavyweight satellites. It's close to the equator, and India can certainly garner a large proportion of the launching facilities, and India is looking for partnerships, and it has already launched many foreign satellites.
Well, and of course many indigenous satellites as well, and the recent cyclone in the Bay of Bengal won actually the space agency a lot of credibility because of the warnings to get everybody out, and that evacuation went very well. So there have been some significant successes from a scientific standpoint as well.
Oh, certainly. See, the Indian space program is largely oriented to benefit Indian poor people, and it has delivered on that account very well. From mapping land resources to mapping water resources to mapping agriculture resources and productivity, it has done very well. In this cyclone which happened recently, the loss of life was 44, which is in double digits. A similar cyclone in 1999, the loss of life was 10,000. And another cyclone in 1970, 300,000 people died. What was the crucial difference between these three occasions? In this current cyclone, India had half a dozen satellites of its own which were beaming down images every hour telling the meteorologists what is the situation of the cyclone. And it led to easy and correct evacuation of people. So what is the cost of saving lives? If they were able to save 10,000 lives, then the Indian space program has paid whatever India invested to it 10,000 times by now. So Indian space program has been doing well. It's an indigenous program. It is a program which is supported heavily by the government. It is a program which the Indian people love, and it's a program which India will hold India in future in a very strong state.